Greetings everyone, Murakamo here. Today we're talking about Lee's silver heel, his back four, especially as applied in combos. It no longer tracks to the side as well with a hitman cancel like Tekken 7, and at close it's plus 7 on hit. With a hitman cancel it's plus 8. Further away at the tip it's plus 8, and with a hitman cancel it's plus 9. If they are crouching, it grounds them. We get a slide in close, but it whiffs further away. Likewise, with a cancel, we can get blazing kick in close, but that whiffs further away. The one thing that's guaranteed is hitman up forward for the silver circle, though they can tech after this when they're face down. On counter hit, it leads to a combo. Here's a pretty easy version that goes to his normal bread and butter. Or we can do more advanced things like this. Because the slide hits late, it gives enough frames for while standing 4 here. You can have a little style. Relevant for later in the video, we have a few moves that move us slightly left or right. Forward 4 can put us slightly right. That's why this pickup to back 2 can work sometimes, though that's a little finicky. Back 1-1 forward neutral also moves us slightly right. We can see if we do multiple reps. Likewise, back 2-4-3 is going to move us a little bit to the right. You can see here. And perhaps the most to the right is while standing 2-4. If we do multiple reps of that, you'll end up pretty far on the side. Down forward 1, though rarely used in this video, moves us very slightly left. And while standing 1-2 forward neutral moves us fairly significantly left, which you can see after several reps. This will all be important later. So this video is mostly about finisher damage, so let's look at the finishers. There's back 4, hitman stands to slide. This does 1 more damage if in heat and non-JF. It hits best from the side. This next one is back 4 to hitman up forward 4. Also works better from the side. Both of those are doing 12 damage as a finish. Here we have back 4 into forward 3, which is 13 damage. Interestingly, our weakest but also most consistent back 4 finish also adds up to 13 damage, which is the back 3. This is even more pronounced in heat combos because the final grounded hit is not subject to scaling. Usually you'll apply it like this in case they tried to spring attack. Even more damaging is a finish with back 4 down 3, which does 19 damage. And our most damaging finish is, in certain situations, back 4 up back 3 for a total of 22 damage. So if these options are so strong relatively, why don't people use them all the time? The answer is there are various options that beat them. Spring kick probably being the strongest of these, and at many angles, up back 3 being recoverable by other options. Here, the spring kick beats both versions. Let's look at when and how to guarantee these options. First, the back 4 down 3 finish is very easy to guarantee versus up and back recovery. This clip and the last one represent both of those options. 3 variables we can control for that we'll keep seeing in this video are first, getting really deep, second, trying to back 4 really late, and third, trying to get to the side so it changes the angle of their recoveries. In these first videos, we're just trying to run in deep and back 4 really late. Against small characters, this alone can be enough to guarantee down 3 versus spring kick. We can also sidestep right, which has potential to keep us a little bit closer to the opponent. In this case, 1-9 instead of 2.0. It's also a little easier with the sidestep to be able to get 1 frame later where we become plus 8 instead of plus 7 or plus 6. Do note that realigning left actually makes it harder to get the down 3 and basically always loses to spring kick. A micro SSL at the start here allows this combo to hit on smalls, and then we're able to sidestep far enough right to stuff the spring kick. However, against larger males, even though we don't need the micro SSL, we can't get far enough to guarantee the spring kick stuff here with down 3. Likewise, against larger males, just running in deep with a late back 4 doesn't leave us close enough to stuff their spring kick because they have the longer leg. Also, because their body is taller, it recoils more on the spring kick, making it harder to stuff. We have to go further right on these characters. However, it is possible like here. If the down 3 counter hit floats, full crouch 4 from this angle is guaranteed. Starting our bread and butter combo with micro SSR makes this infinitely easier, and kind of is used to counter the leftward motion from while standing 1-2. If we get far enough right, and they try to spring kick, we'll actually get a counter with them grounded like this for 16 damage. This even works against the really tall characters like Victor, who many people complained about connecting on, as well as Jack, whose stubby legs are an issue with some other enders, and Kuma, who has the same stubby leg issues. There are also several characters with unique get-ups, and we'll look at what can be done against them. For Fang, we actually get deep enough that he can't really do anything with his wake-up. Elisa can always go over these down 3, including at the wall, though it's really hard for her to time. At +7 here into Hitman, Lee gets tagged, though it doesn't say punish, so I think he might be able to block. And here I just avoid going into the Hitman and I hit +8 on the back 4, and I'm able to block it. Elisa's -10, so we can punish. Against King's special corkscrew spring kick, he simply whiffs over us when we're to the side like this, which is really bad for him because we get a full combo afterwards. There are certainly more damaging options than this. Let's start looking at our combo fillers. This is my recommended bread and butter, and it starts with that micro sidestep right. That really helps set up the angle for these finishes. This also starts with micro sidestep right, and it's 1 hit fewer but does the same damage. In Rage, forward 4-1 actually does 2 more damage than the while standing 2 finish. If we micro sidestep left here versus smalls, we can get 1 more hit versus them, and versus large males and bigger, we don't need the sidestep left to realign. Here are forward 4 to down 2 variations of this, which do more damage, but the back 2 connecting after this is really iffy, it's not consistent. This is technically possible and moves us somewhat right, which is ideal, however it is extremely hard to hit. From back 4 HMS starter, we can misstep into 4 up 3 to do our normal combo. This will be really hard to connect the guaranteed down 3 versus bigs, maybe okay versus Xiao. We can also quarter circle back cancel and whiff back 2 4 3. This makes it a little easier to stay in close. And the best option versus larger male characters might be missed and sidestep right down 2, because it helps us cut the angle where we can guarantee the down 3 much easier. It's also very easy to get the down 3 on extensions where we can go further right. Like this, we can do 2 reps of while standing 1 2. The heat burst, sidestep right instant while standing 2 3. And then we can dash in back 4 down 3 pretty easily. Heat Burst also gives us an option to finish with this off of the forward 3 series, which normally doesn't have a very strong ender. This is a simple version, sidestep right, back 2 4 3, back 2 4 3, dash Heat Burst, and then dash back 4 down 3. Pretty easy, and 86 or 87 damage depending on if you got the first JF. If they try to spring kick, you get counter hit down 3 float into full crouch 4 for 17 damage, so it's 4 extra for free. Another starter that makes it easy to set up the back 4 down 3 is forward 4 because we're already so far to the side. There are probably slightly more damaging options than this, but this is a very easy, consistent option to start with. In this case, we're so far to the side that we probably don't get the down 3 counter hit float, we'll just get the 16 damage down 3 counter hit on the ground. Against bears from the sidestep acid rain, specifically sidestep right, there's a very small area right here where down 3 is guaranteed versus all of their options. You need the very slight sidestep right to guarantee this versus both options. To explore back 4 up back 3 finishes, let's look at the wall first. So if they're at this height, back 4 is only +6, which doesn't guarantee the up back 3. If we let them slide a little lower, they become +7. And then we can get up back 3 guaranteed. So here, we can see the same thing on Xiao, +6, let her drop a little, she becomes +7, we get up back 3 guaranteed. So we always need at least +7 for up back 3. You can also sidestep, that could help a little, or at least help with the timing. Another way to guarantee +7 back 4 is to hit them very high on the wall. Also, forward 4-3 is normally +6, but interestingly, if it hits them very high on the wall, it becomes +7 and guarantees up back 3 too. There might be some applications for this if you have late combos where you hit high wall. Against larger males, if you think they're gonna stand, you can re-wall with forward 3-3-4 tornado. This works versus both back recovery and up recovery versus these characters. However, versus small characters, the 4 often whiffs versus back, and the whole string whiffs outright versus up. If they try to recovery kick or spring kick, it's too much slump on the wall and the 4 won't connect. However, if they're trying to do that for whatever insane reason, down forward 1 re-walls like it used to in the old games versus recovery kick and spring kick. This variation actually does work on smalls, though it's a little bit pointless because we don't really have anything to mix it with. So I don't think small characters are ever really likely to do this. The other reason we're not as likely to see them trying the recovery kick or the spring kick is that our normal finish with up back 3 just re-walls them if they do those. However, if we do want to incentivize them trying different things, you can stick in Hitman up 4 for 16 extra damage. If they stay grounded, we're actually plus 14, so if you didn't see them move and you're in heat, you can down forward 4-4 to a wall combo as well. However, even at plus 8 into Hitman, this loses versus stand block, but at least we're safe in that situation. The main option that this somewhat loses to is side roll. Sometimes we can catch the side roll if we sidestep in Hitman stance to realign, but we're really betting on them side rolling in that case and giving up the other options. So here we see side roll beating all variations here, and sometimes even when you try and realign, you can whiff, like this. However, sometimes it works and we get a little extra damage out of it. Like here, that's guaranteed. Full string if they wake up. Or from the other side here, which with heat gives a lot more in this situation. The real big damage comes versus them holding back or doing recovery kicks of any sort. If we're at least plus 8 in this situation, we'll hit them on the back recovery and we'll get to re-wall them here with down forward 4-4. Why they'd hold back, I'm not sure, but new players to the series sure seem to like to do that at the wall. I don't know why. If they do either wake up 3 or wake up 4, we hit it plus 13. And we can re-wall them to some sort of combo, maybe something like this. In the case of them doing the down 3 or 4 recovery kick, we can confirm it visually, and that one always puts us at plus 14, meaning we can splat with forward plus 2-1. At the end of this, I know I missed the guaranteed Hitman up forward 4, but I didn't want to recapture it. We also beat spring kick, however, because they're airborne, they don't get the spike to the ground, and then they can get up safely afterwards. Versus Jack, because of the big body, we always get plus 6 right here, so we're not able to guarantee the up back 3. There are a couple of things that we can do. The first is to put him really high on the wall with up back 3. Note that won't work on Kuma, it doesn't re-wall him. Also, we can go further to the side, so we're plus 7 here. Or we can go further away from him and hit at the heel for plus 7 there as well. Here we're going to the side and that allows us the plus 7 and we can finish. Versus Kuma, down 4 series is no longer guaranteed if he doesn't move. If he moves at all, it will connect though again. The best option to put him high on the wall is probably while standing 2-3 because it recovers very quickly. Now we're ready to talk about up back 3 finish mid stage. So usually I use the bread and butter that starts with micro sidestep right, and we want to get deep, a full sidestep right, and a late back 4. If we do all of these things, it's possible to stuff every option. That last clip was a counter hit versus spring kick, which gave 19 damage, so 22 in total for the finish. This is versus up recovery. And this one is versus back recovery. Generally, up and back are easier to cover than the spring kick. The spring kick's the hardest option to beat. If our collective variables aren't enough, deep enough, side enough, late enough to guarantee the up back 3, we can be floated by the spring kick, or sometimes it'll hit us grounded like this and put them plus. However, if we get it all just right, we can beat that option as well. So here's her spring kick, and we counter it. From the front, this is basically impossible to get guaranteed versus the tall male characters like Paul or Victor. So he can float me with the spring kick, or he can hit me grounded, and it's actually possible to guarantee it against him by not using the while standing 1-2 that moves us more left, but we sacrifice more damage than we gain, so it's kind of pointless. So here again, by not using while standing 1-2, we can get far enough right. Many times you'll notice that we're at plus 8 on the back 4 when we stuff the spring kick. We can also do it at plus 7 if we're close enough. It is worth mentioning though that if they mess up their spring kick input, we can still hit them with this. So it does require good timing on their part in able to spring kick us. Depending on the situation, timing and spacing, spring kick can hit in weird ways, and that last one, it actually didn't let him spring kick. Here, the spring kick can float us, but we can always tech before their follow-ups. And if they spring kick and hit us standing, they're anywhere between +9 and +11. At +9, Paul can't get a punish, but maybe Yoshi could. Here, Paul's gonna hit us at +11, which gives him a follow-up. Sometimes the spring kick can just whiff outright, and as long as our back 4 was late enough, it should guarantee an up forward 4 for us to his face. Also, if their spring kick was just a little bit late, sometimes we'll float it from the air like this, and this gives us a follow-up combo with a tornado on the first hit. So a follow-up combo to that might look something like this. Here I use a heat burst to get another guaranteed back 4 down 3 finish. And sometimes it can even hit as a counter hit at certain angles and timings. And that also leads to a first bound tornado like this, but we get 1 extra hit. Note the angle here allows for back 1, 1+2 to hit at aerial hits 8, 9. There's a certain sweet spot for the up back 3, and if we go too far, they can actually up and back recover it in different ways. So that makes following up off of this hard, and I wouldn't recommend up back 3 from this extended situation. Too far to the side, and they're likely to be able to up recovery to make it whiff, or back, or stand block it because it's a frame later like that. One situation where we can get just a perfect angle is off of the forward 4. So this is the one area that mid-screen I found it fully guaranteed even against tall males. So right here we have 2 examples of routes that you can take that leave you in the perfect spot to just dash in straight late back 4 and up back 3 and have it guaranteed against all options. We have another secret weapon in our arsenal. If we think they're going to spring kick or we want to disincentivize them from it, we can finish with back 3-3, which still does the same as our strongest normal finisher, and if they try to spring kick, we get a recombo. Against the big characters, we can get the up back 3 versus stand, but with the stubby legs and having to cut such an angle, there's no area where we hit all of their options. In many cases, they can hold back and we get this weird thing happening, so we can't connect on them. So down 3 is probably going to be our strongest finish against them. The same thing can happen against normal characters too if we go too far to the right. If we want to elect for a mix-up against this, back 4 to hitman up forward 4, at +7 they can block with the back recovery, but at +8 in hitman we'll hit them standing for +13, which of course means we can follow up with down forward 4-4, which gives us a lot of damage, especially in heat or pressure otherwise. So here's guaranteed damage from heat. And when our back 4 hitman leaves us +9, remember hitman's always 1 frame better than not, our silver circle actually pins them to the ground like this, though it's always +12, so we don't get a down forward 4-4 refloat. Our best damage here against Jack is going to be up back 3. These extensions actually do work pretty fine off of the extensions using heat burst. So you can do them light like this if you choose, though it might be a little bit of waste of heat. Versus Kuma, it's pretty common to get the +8 situation where we hit them standing and get the down forward 4-4. But in the case that you do get +9 and pin Kuma to the ground, down 4 floats him. There's probably a stronger juggle than this, using down 4-4 up 3 into forward 4-1, and in this situation, back 3 is fully guaranteed. I hope that helped you understand when and how to use back 4 finishes, and I'll see you guys next time.